Welcome to Sex Education Repo, your home for exploring the fascinating and often untold stories of our world. Today, we're diving into the dark history of a disease that has haunted humanity for centuries, a shapeshifter known as the Great Imitator, syphilis. Before the age of antibiotics, this illness was a specter that loomed over everyone, from the poorest commoner to the most powerful monarch. It didn't just cause physical suffering, it warped minds, destroyed legacies, and left a trail of devastation in its wake. We'll trace its mysterious origins, uncover the horrifying treatments people endured, and examine a dark chapter in medical history that forever changed our understanding of ethics. So, how did this terrifying disease begin its march across the globe? The exact origins of syphilis are still debated by historians and scientists. One of the most prominent theories, known as the Columbian theory, suggests that the disease was brought to Europe from the Americas by Christopher Columbus and his crew in the late 15th century. According to this idea, the bacterium Treponema pallidum existed in a milder, non-venereal form in the New World. When European explorers arrived, they were exposed, and the bacterium mutated into the more virulent, sexually transmitted form we know today. Shortly after their return, a massive outbreak of a frightening new plague swept through Europe, starting around 1495 during the French invasion of Naples. The soldiers, a mix of mercenaries from all over the continent, spread the disease far and wide as they disbanded and returned home. This new plague was terrifying. It caused grotesque sores, excruciating pain, and eventually, devastating neurological damage and death. Different nations, eager to blame their enemies, gave it different names. The French called it the Neapolitan disease, while the English and Italians called it the French disease. It was an Italian physician and poet, Girolamo Fracastoro, who finally gave it its lasting name in 1530. He wrote a poem about a mythical shepherd named Syphilis, who angered the god Apollo and was cursed with the horrific illness. The name stuck, and syphilis became its official title. In its early stages, known as primary syphilis, the disease often starts with a single, painless sore called a chancre at the site of infection. This sore can easily be missed, especially if it's internal, and it heals on its own within a few weeks, lulling the infected person into a false sense of security. But the bacteria are not gone, they are silently multiplying and spreading throughout the body. Weeks or months later, the second stage begins. This is when syphilis truly earns its nickname, the Great Imitator. It can manifest with a bewildering array of symptoms that mimic other illnesses. A non-itchy rash might appear on the palms of the hands and soles of the feet, but it can also cover the entire body. The infected person might experience fever, swollen lymph nodes, sore throat, patchy hair loss, headaches, and muscle aches. Because these symptoms are so general and can disappear on their own, the disease was often misdiagnosed for centuries. This is where the true horror of syphilis begins. After the secondary stage, the disease enters a latent, or hidden, phase. For years, even decades, there might be no visible signs or symptoms at all. The person feels perfectly healthy, unaware of the time bomb ticking inside them. But during this entire time, the bacteria are slowly, relentlessly, invading the internal organs. The final, tertiary stage is the most devastating. The disease can attack the brain, nerves, eyes, heart, blood vessels, liver, bones, and joints. Neurosyphilis can lead to dementia, paralysis, blindness, and profound personality changes. Cardiovascular syphilis can cause fatal aortic aneurysms. Destructive, rubbery growths called gummas can form in the skin, bones, and organs, causing disfigurement and ruin. Before modern medicine, reaching this stage was a death sentence, often a slow and agonizing one. For centuries, the search for a cure was a desperate and often brutal affair. One of the earliest and most infamous treatments involved a heavy metal that is itself a potent poison, mercury. The logic was grimly simple: mercury caused profuse drooling, and physicians of the era believed this was the body expelling the syphilitic poison. Patients were subjected to mercury in various horrific forms. They might be given ointments to rub all over their bodies, pills to swallow, or forced to inhale its toxic vapors in heated chambers called fumigation stoves. The side effects were nightmarish. Mercury poisoning caused neurological damage, kidney failure, and severe dental problems, including loosened teeth and rotting gums. The cure was often as terrible as the disease, if not worse. The popular saying of the time summed it up perfectly: a night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury. Many patients died not from syphilis, but from the toxic effects of their supposed treatment. The search for a better solution was relentless. In the early 20th century, a breakthrough finally came from the laboratory of German scientist Paul Ehrlich. He was determined to find a magic bullet, a compound that could selectively target and kill the invading pathogen without harming the patient's body. After meticulously testing hundreds of arsenic-based compounds, he and his team found success in 1909 with compound number 606. They named it Salvarsan, and it was the first truly effective treatment for syphilis. While it was a huge leap forward, Salvarsan was not a perfect cure. It was difficult to administer, requiring a series of injections, and it still carried the risk of severe side effects due to its arsenic content. Nevertheless, for the first time in history, there was real hope for those afflicted by the disease. But the ultimate revolution in treatment was still a few decades away, waiting for the discovery of a mold that would change the world. The arrival of penicillin in the 1940s was nothing short of a miracle. Discovered by Alexander Fleming and later mass-produced, this new antibiotic was astonishingly effective against the syphilis bacterium and had far fewer side effects than mercury or Salvarsan. A simple course of penicillin could cure the disease completely, especially if caught in its early stages. For the first time in 500 years, syphilis was no longer a lifelong curse or a death sentence. It had become a treatable, curable infection. But the history of syphilis holds a darker chapter, one that serves as a permanent scar on the conscience of the medical community. This story is not about finding a cure, but about deliberately withholding it. This was the Tuskegee syphilis study. In 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service initiated a study in Macon County, Alabama, to observe the natural, untreated progression of syphilis. The researchers recruited 600 African American men, 399 who had latent syphilis and 201 who did not. These men, mostly poor sharecroppers, were not given informed consent. They were told they were being treated for bad blood, a local term for various ailments. In exchange for their participation, they were offered free medical exams, free meals, and burial insurance. The researchers had no intention of curing the men. Their goal was simply to watch, document, and perform autopsies after they died to see what the disease had done to their bodies. The study continued for an unbelievable 40 years. Even after penicillin became the standard, widely available cure in the 1940s, the researchers actively prevented the men in the study from receiving it. They went to extraordinary lengths to ensure their subjects remained untreated, a source of pure data for their ghastly experiment. The men suffered the full, horrifying consequences of tertiary syphilis. They went blind, developed mental illnesses, and died from heart failure and other complications, all while a simple cure was readily available. The truth was finally exposed in 1972 by an Associated Press reporter named Gene Heller. The public outcry was immediate and immense. The study was shut down, and the devastating ethical failures led to a complete overhaul of regulations governing human experiments. The concept of informed consent, which requires that patients be fully informed of the risks and benefits of a study before agreeing to participate, became a cornerstone of modern medical ethics. The Tuskegee experiment stands as a chilling reminder of what can happen when scientific curiosity is divorced from human empathy and respect. Today, syphilis has not been eradicated. While the number of cases plummeted after the introduction of penicillin, it has been making a concerning comeback in recent years around the world. The great imitator is still with us, its symptoms as varied and potentially misleading as ever. But unlike the kings, artists, and countless ordinary people of the past, we have the knowledge and the tools to fight back. We have reliable tests to diagnose it and effective antibiotics to cure it. The horrors of mercury and the ethical nightmare of Tuskegee are part of its dark history, lessons learned at a terrible cost. They remind us of the importance of scientific progress, but also of the absolute necessity of compassion and ethics in medicine. The story of syphilis is a powerful testament to the long and difficult battle against disease, and a solemn vow to never repeat the mistakes of the past. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative, please consider subscribing to Sex Education Repo for more deep dives into the stories that have shaped our world.